So for this deep dive, we're talking about infrastructure. But not, the usual stuff. Not roads and bridges.
No, not the concrete. The sources we looked at are focused on something they call human infrastructure.
Which sounds a bit like HR, but it's not that at all.
Not at all. They define it as the best human moments. It's that split-second decision a nurse or a teacher or anyone makes to exercise their own judgment.
To show some care, even when the system is basically screaming at them to just follow the protocol.
Exactly. And the real mystery we're exploring is why so many of our modern institutions seem designed to crush those very moments.
We'll thin out the humanity in favor of, I guess, efficiency.
Which takes us straight to healthcare, and what the research calls the pseudo-productivity paradox.
Right. This is where you have doctors and nurses spending huge chunks of their day just feeding data into electronic health records.
And from the system's point of view, success is a clean data set. It's inbox zero.
But the actual work of healing, holding a patient's hand, really listening to a family's fears, that doesn't leave a data trail.
So it's literally invisible to the administration. It doesn't count.
And this leads to something they call moral injury.
It's really important to distinguish this from simple burnout.
It's the psychological pain of knowing what the right thing to do is, but being systematically blocked from doing it.
Yeah. And it gets back to a distinction the philosopher Hannah Arendt made between knowing and thinking.
The system wants knowing. It wants data processing.
But what humans need is space for thinking. That reflective internal dialogue.
And when you take that away, you get what she called thoughtlessness. You're just a cog in the machine.
And that thoughtlessness isn't just a problem in hospitals. The sources draw a very clear line from there to what's happening in local journalism.
They call it civic amnesia.
It's a concept from Wendell Berry. He argues that a community needs a pattern of reminding to maintain trust.
Shared stories, local history, accountability.
But then an investment firm buys the local paper, and the first thing they do is cut reporting staff. The average was, 14%?
Yeah, it creates what they call a hollow middle.
You lose the reporter at the city council meeting, and instead you get generic national wire stories.
And that's where Arndt's banality of evil comes in. The real danger isn't always some villain with a master plan.
No, it's just thoughtlessness. People working inside a system that never asks them to imagine the perspective of their neighbor.
So how did we get here? How did our own tools start making us, less human?
There's a concept for this from Ivan Illich. He called it the second watershed.
The second watershed.
It's the tipping point, the point where a professional tool becomes paradoxically counterproductive.
Like a medical system so tangled in billing codes, it actually gets in the way of health.
Or a school so focused on standardized tests that it kills any real curiosity. Illich talks about the difference between industrial tools, which make us accessories to the machine,
and convivial tools, which are the ones that actually amplify our own creativity.
Exactly. And the sources do offer some of those. On a big scale, there's slow schooling, this idea of education as a craftsman's workshop instead of a factory.
But I love the more personal tactic they mentioned, expectation inversion.
Oh, it's brilliant. The standard procedure, when there's a mistake, is to make an excuse or hide it.
Right. But this says you do the opposite. You own it completely, and then you over-deliver on the solution.
Because that act of radical humanity creates retail value.
The person is so shocked they have to tell someone else the story. You've turned a system failure into a human bond.
You're engineering one of those best human moments right back into the process.
It seems like the big takeaway is that we have to start designing our systems for dignity, not just for data.
And that leads to this final, really provocative idea, this PACER framework. We usually see things like grief and failure as problems to be managed or hidden.
Bugs in the system.
Right. But what if we started treating them as systemic infrastructure?
Meaning the organization itself is built to process loss, to metabolize change, instead of just pretending it doesn't happen.
Precisely. It builds true resilience.
That's a heavy thought to end on. But maybe if we want to rebuild that human infrastructure, we have to stop trying to be so efficient.
And start trying to be a little more visible to each other.
A good place to leave it. Thanks for digging in with us.